I'm Gemma from Hoglets Theatre, and I'm thrilled to be here telling you some wonderful stories as part of North Yorkshire Library's very special Under Fives week. So today's story is called Grandmother Spider and the Sun. When the world began, there was nothing but darkness. Life was difficult for human and animal alike. It was cold and it was dark, and everything and everyone just kept on bumping into each other. Finally, the animals had had enough, so they decided to call a very important meeting in the central glade of the forest to see what they could do about this cold, dark situation. The animals all came one by one, nervously looking round, not wanting to speak first. They all stood there in silence for ages until a bear stepped forward and in a low, gruff growl, he said, "I have heard of something called a sun. It is a big ball of light and heat, and the people who guard this sun will not share it. I propose that we steal just a small bit of the sun for ourselves." All the animals agreed. This was a wonderful idea. But who would be in charge of stealing the sun? All the bravest animals stepped forward, where the smaller, weaker ones went and hid in the trees. The first animal to attempt stealing the sun was the fox. Foxes are very, very sly. So Fox used his cunning and crept to the place where the sun was being kept, and he hid, and he waited, and watched, and watched, and waited, and bided his time until nobody was looking. And then he pounced. He grabbed hold of the sun with his mouth, trying to bite off a piece, but it wouldn't come off. So instead, he took the whole thing. He grabbed hold of the sun and began to run. He ran and ran and ran as fast as his legs could take him. But the further he got, the more the sun burned his mouth. It was hot. His tongue was sore. All the fur around his jaws had been singed black. The fox could take the heat no more and dropped the sun. Where he stood, he tried to clean his face, but the black marking wouldn't come off. And to this very day, foxes still have black fur around their jaws. The fox was so disappointed with himself that he slunk back to the forest to tell the animals what had happened. The next animal to try and take the sun was the possum. Now, back when the earth started, possums had great, big, thick, furry, luxurious tails that they were very proud of. The possum scampered to the place where the fox had dropped the sun. Very, very slowly, she lifted the sun onto her tail, waited till she was balanced. Then she began to scamper back to the forest. This scamper turned to a run, and she ran and ran, and as she ran, the sun felt hotter and hotter. It burnt away all the fur on her beautiful tail. She held on to the sun for as long as possible, but just like the fox, she could hold it no longer, and she dropped it. She turned and looked sadly at her now bald, ratty tail, and wondered if the fur would ever grow back. It never did. Still to this day, possums have very bald, very ratty tails. She looked back at the sun and slunk back to the forest to tell the other animals what had happened. All the other animals began to despair. They would never, ever get a piece of the sun to warm them or light their lives. What would they do? Then they heard a rustling from in the trees. "May I help?" A little old grandmother spider had crawled out of the undergrowth. She wasn't as strong as the other animals or as fast, but she was clever. She thought for a moment and looked around. Then she noticed one of her webs hanging in the branches covered in dew. So she pulled down the web, spun some silk, and sewed the web into a big silken bag, which she put onto her back, and she scuttled off. Finally, she reached the place where the possum had dropped the sun. She looked around the sun, not getting too close, and then threw the bag over it and pulled it inside. Then very slowly and very gently heaved the sun onto her back, and steadily she took it back to the forest glade. All the other animals rejoiced, but now was the question, where would they put the sun? Grandmother Spider suggested that they put it right at the top of the sky, so every animal and every creature could share in its warmth and its light. So that's what they decided to do. They tried throwing the sun up there. It wouldn't work. They tried climbing the highest trees. That didn't work either. They tried rolling it into the sky, but the sun just would not stay in place. Then, from the tallest branches, down swooped a buzzard with his big, strong wings. "I can fly higher than any other bird," he said. "I will place the sun at the top of the sky." So the bear lifted the sun, still in the silken bag, onto the buzzard's head. And with a beat of his ginormous wings, he took off. Higher and higher and higher he rose. But despite still being in the bag, the sun was still very hot, and the higher he rose, the more the buzzard felt it. He flew higher, but the feathers on his head began to singe. He flew higher still, but the feathers on his head all burnt away. Higher still, and the skin on his head turned pink and sore and wrinkly, but the buzzard would not give up. He flew higher and higher and higher till he could almost bear it no more. And finally he reached the highest point of the sun. There he left it and flew back down to earth. His head was now bald and pink and wrinkly, and buzzards' heads would stay like that for evermore. But you may still see a buzzard now and again, soaring around the sun, making sure it's staying in place. Everyone was warm, everywhere was light, and everything was happy. Now, today we're going to do a few little games and a few little songs, all relating to the story I've just told you, Grandmother Spider and the Sun. So, if you are a parent with a babe in arms, this can be my example for today, I will show you how to do it. If you're a big girl or boy and can do these things yourself, you could do the jumping yourself, the stretching yourself, then brilliant. And so I will give you all an idea of how to modify each game as we go along. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to walk around that forest now that it's nice and light and warm, and we're going to see what creatures we can meet. So, for mummies and daddies with babes in arms, we're going to walk by smacking our thighs. If you are a big girl or a big boy, you can walk by stamping your feet and marching to the beat if you want to. And as we go, we're going to sing a little song that goes like this. Walking through the woods to the beat of our feet. What kind of animal would you like to meet? Now, we are going to meet the 5 animals from the story. We're going to meet the bear, the fox, the possum, the spider, and then the buzzard. So, you ready? 1, 2, 3. Walking round the woods to the beat of our feet. What kind of animal would you like to meet? A bear, a bear, we want to meet a bear. Walking through the woods to the beat of our feet. What kind of animal would you like to meet? A fox, we want to meet a fox. Walking through the woods to the beat of our feet. What kind of animal would you like to meet? A possum, we want to meet a possum. Walking through the woods to the beat of our feet. What kind of animal would you like to meet? A spider, we want to meet a spider. Walking through the woods to the beat of our feet. What kind of animal would you like to meet? A buzzard. A buzzard. We want to meet a buzzard. Now, we've met all these wonderful animals. We're going to sing a song about them. Now, I'm sure you all know the song, The Wheels on the Bus. Well, we're going to take the tune from The Wheels on the Bus, but we're going to sing the animals in the forest. So we would start with the bear, and it would go like this. The bear in the forest goes growl, 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 growl. The bear in the forest goes growl, 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 all day long. So we're going to have a growling bear. Let's do a better growl than that. Let's do a big gruff, rah, growling bear. So we're going to have a growling bear. We're going to have a swishing fox. So swish, swish, like you've got a big bushy tail to swish from side to side. We're going to have a scampering possum. So we're going to scamper, scamper, scamper. We're going to have a tickling spider. So our spider is going to tickle, tickle, tickle. And we're going to have a flapping buzzard. So are you ready? 1, 2, 3. The bear in the forest goes growl, growl, growl. Ooh, growl, growl, growl. Growl, growl, growl. The bear in the forest goes growl, growl, growl. All day long. Swishing fox. The fox in the forest goes swish, swish, swish. Swish, swish, swish. Swish, swish, swish. The fox in the forest goes swish, swish, swish. All day long. Scampering possum. The possum in the forest goes scamper, scamper, scamper. Scamper, scamper, scamper. Scamper, scamper, scamper. The possum in the forest goes scamper, scamper, scamper. All day long. My favourite, the tickling spider. The spider in the forest goes tickle, 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 tickle. The spider in the forest goes tickle, 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 all day long. Flapping buzzard. The buzzard in the forest goes flap, 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 flap. The buzzard in the forest goes flap, 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 all day long. Brilliant. Now, we are going to go back to our very tickly spider, and we're going to play a little game that teaches little people about their body parts. So if you are a mummy or a daddy or a grandma or a grandpa with a baby in arms, we are going to hold the babies like this, and we're going to tickle up and down the baby's bodies. If they're a bit bigger, you can just tickle up their legs and back again, or if they want to do it themselves, they can tickle up their own legs and up their bodies. So, we're going to have a very tickly spider that's going to run up and down the body, teaching them their body parts. So we'll go up one side, and then we'll go up the other side. And it goes like this. Hurry, scurry, a little spider, starting at your toes. Then you go to their knee. Hurry, scurry, a little spider, past your knee he goes. Then we go to their tummies. Hurry, scurry, a little spider, to where your tummy is. Then go to their heads. Hurry, scurry, little spider, let's have a tickly kiss. Mwah! So we're going to do it once up the right side and once up the left side. It doesn't matter which one you start on. So are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Hurry, scurry, little spider, starting at your toes. Hurry, scurry, little spider, past your knee he goes. Hurry, scurry, little spider, to where your tummy is. Hurry, scurry, little spider, let's have a tickly kiss. Mwah! And then on to the other leg, which is going to be our last one, so it needs to be even ticklier. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Hurry, scurry, little spider, starting at your toes. Hurry, scurry, little spider, past your knee he goes. Hurry, scurry, little spider, to where your tummy is. Hurry, scurry, little spider, let's have a tickly kiss. Mwah! Now, I am sure you all know a song about spiders. I'm sure you all know Incy Wincy Spider. Great, isn't it? But did you know that Incy Wincy Spider has 2 very good friends? She has Itsy Bitsy Spider, who's only very tiny, and you sing it in a very high voice. Not too high though. And then there's Great Big Hairy Spider, who is huge, and you sing in a very deep voice, and you do not want to meet him in the bathroom. So we're going to sing Incy Wincy Spider, then we're going to sing Itsy Bitsy Spider, then Great Big Hairy Spider. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Itsy Bitsy Spider climbed up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sunshine and dried up all the rain. So Itsy Bitsy Spider climbed up the spout again. Now we're going even smaller for Itsy Bitsy Spider. Itsy Bitsy Spider climbed up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sunshine and dried up all the rain. So Itsy Bitsy Spider climbed up the spout again. Now we're going to have a great big hairy spider. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Great big hairy spider climbed up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sunshine and dried up all the rain. So great big hairy spider climbed up the spout again. So we're going to leave our spider there and we're going to play one final game about a flying buzzard. Now, you can do this from seated if you want, although it's quite difficult if you have a baby in arms. It's probably better off to stand up. If you are a big girl or boy and can do this yourself, can you stretch up high and stretch up low, then stretch to the left and then stretch to the right? Brilliant. So we're going to get our babies. Or we're going to do this ourselves, and we're going to play a little game that's called Baby Goes High. So we lift them up as high as we can. So baby goes high, or you stretch up as high as you can, and then we go baby goes low, baby goes left to right, just so. So if you're doing that with a baby, you do it like that. If you're doing it yourself, stretch up high, stretch down low, stretch left, and then stretch right. And we're going to do that together 3 times. Yes. Are we ready? 1, 2, 3. Baby goes high, baby goes low, baby goes left to right, just so. One more time. Baby goes high, baby goes low, baby goes left to right, just so. And one more quick time, because I bet they're getting heavy. Baby goes high, baby goes low, baby goes left to right, just so. Oh, well, thank you so much for joining me. Sit down and have a rest. I think you've all earned a cup of tea and a biscuit. So, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you join me again. There will be more stories from me, Gemma from Hoglets Theatre, on Thursday morning and Saturday morning at 10 a.m. But if you look online, there are loads of exciting things happening as part of North Yorkshire Library's Under Fives Week. There is bedtime stories, there's music sessions, there's all join-in sessions, and if you go to your local library and borrow a book, you can join the Buzzy Bees scheme and get a lovely free goodie bag. Sounds great, doesn't it? So, I hope to see you again soon. Take care. Thank you for joining me. Bye.